Welcome, Ben. Thanks for making the time, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I thought we'd get started by just looking back at kind of like the start of your journey as a rower. How old were you when you first started?
I was about 14. Started rowing down at St Andrews in Christchurch.
Oh, yeah.
Did watch my kind of siblings row when I was a little bit younger, and I guess went and watched a few Māoris back in the day and thought this is pretty cool. Maybe something I want to be a part of. So yeah, started rowing at the age of 14 down in Christchurch on the Avon River. So.
Right, so you had older siblings who got into it first?
Yeah. So my stepsister was at Rangi, 6 years older than me, and she started first, and then my sister's 2 years older than me. She rowed as well. We do have a little bit of history as well. Dad did row for my school that I was at as well. So
right.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of in the family a little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't something I was like really keen to do at a young age, but I kind of just like watched it a few times and I guess fell in love with it pretty quickly. So
yeah. Weren't put off by like all the early mornings and stuff?
Nah, not too bad. I think, I kind of like the grind a little bit, and kind of getting up early is not too bad for me. Definitely an early bird, so yeah, don't mind it too much.
Right. Okay. So you would have been 14, like year 10 when you started?
Yeah, in year 9, kind of started year 10.
Right.
When we started. Yeah.
Were you like quite quickly like, this is something I'm really keen to do? Like quickly were really good at it and can see yourself continuing? Was it like a little bit more, took you a bit more time to properly get into it?
I think we did have early success. I was kind of mainly doing it for rugby fitness as well, because I was playing rugby as well. But I guess the early success did help a lot. We had a pretty strong group at our school that kind of started together. So we did really well in the South Island kind of events. But then we kind of came up against the North Island rowers at Māori and got humbled pretty quickly.
Right.
We kind of cleaned up everything in the South Island, and then got to Māori and just got a hiding. So it was a good wake up call, but I think we kind of, most of us knew we were pretty keen to stay on and I guess see where we could take it from there.
Right. At what point do you think you were kind of like shifted maybe perspective a little bit from, this is not just something I'm enjoying and doing well at school, but actually something I could see myself doing professionally?
I'd say maybe when I started to make some like representative teams.
Right.
So when I was about 16, I made the North to the South team, which kind of a lot of the time at that school age can lead into like making the New Zealand junior team. And I guess that's something I had my eye on after making that. And then, you get the odd email from a few universities in the States, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, they must think I'm all right. So
right, yeah, that's encouraging.
Yeah. So I guess, probably at the age of about 16, 17, I kind of knew we were getting some good success at Māori as well. And I guess I thought, I could have a good crack at this. And
yeah. Were you ever considering that pathway, like taking a scholarship to an American university?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely on the cards, and I signed it. I actually signed like a commitment letter, which doesn't actually mean a lot to me. To us, it did. I guess when you sign it, you're like, oh my god, it's committing. But apparently, it's a bit fake, and you don't actually have to go.
Revoke
Yeah. But at the time, Rowing New Zealand back then were quite strict on letting people go to the States. They kind of said, if you go to the States, you're not going to be let back in the system here.
Really?
So there was like a big kind of like push not to do it. They were telling our parents, we made the junior team, and our parents came down for a weekend, and they were telling us, if you go to the States, then you're ruining your opportunity to represent New Zealand later on. So I kind of pulled pin and said no. But I guess in the past 4 or 5 years, or probably even longer than that, there's been a big push. A lot of the athletes have gone, and they've kind of had to revert their ways and kind of say, hey, we are now accepting athletes back from the States. And there's been a few that have kind of come back and actually proven that it does work still.
Right.
So now a lot more are going than not. So yeah, it's definitely something you kind of think, oh, you regret, but at the same time, I'm in the position I am now. So
it hasn't gone too bad.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Out of interest, what was the uni you would have? What was the one you did the?
Yeah, so I signed with University of Washington first, and then when I actually stopped rowing in 2019, took some time off, I had a look at Cal Berkeley as well, which probably did suit me a little bit better.
Which one? Where's Cal Berkeley?
That's in California, like California, like near San Fran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I'm not sure the exact area, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I got a free visit to both of them as well, so they flew me over and got to check out the uni for a few days.
And that's always good.
It's all paid for, so I thought I'd take the opportunity while I could.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So they obviously had a pretty successful rest of the school career. And then what was the kind of pathway for you rowing when you wrapped up at school? So you kept rowing for, was it like a couple more years, and then before you decided to take a break? What was the kind of first couple of years look like after you finished rowing at school?
So I guess my last year at school, once the school season had finished, we got selected for the New Zealand junior team. So we came up here into Cambridge trained up here for 2 months. We kind of went to school at St. Peter's in a way, just kind of did internals and stuff like in the library and things like that. And had a pretty successful juniors campaign. We got second in the junior four at the 2017 World Champs. 2017 Junior World Champs, which was pretty cool. And then I guess the following year after that, we got selected into the 23 system. So there's the juniors and the kind of the under 23s, and then it goes to elites.
Right.
So the following year after juniors, got silver again in the 23-4, Cox 4. And then the year after that, got silver in the 23 Coxless 4 in 2019. So yeah, I guess we had pretty good success, 3 silver medals at World Champs back to back to back. And then actually after that was my first year 23s was selected into the elite team as well as a reserve.
Right. Is the elite team just like the senior team?
Yeah.
Right.
So elite team, senior team, kind of same thing.
Yeah.
So I went to like the World Champs in 2018 with the elites. I was 18 years old. It's pretty daunting.
Seriously impressive though.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. But you go down to sit at dinner when we're overseas, and there's the likes of Mahe and all that Mahe, Drysdale and stuff sitting around. So you're pretty intimidated.
Yeah.
I was definitely like a little kid, but shocked. And
were you the youngest on that like tour by far?
Yeah, we had a few other guys that were kind of similar age, but I was the youngest, I guess, by like a few months kind of thing.
Oh, right,
And then the following year, we got selected as the 23-4 and the Elite 4 because there wasn't a Elite 4, so we did the 23s, got silver, and then went to the Elite World Champs as well. That was qualification year for the Olympics.
Right. So what year would that have been? Sorry,
2019.
2019.
Yeah. So we went to the qualification year for the Olympics, missed out. One of the guys got injured from our 23-4.
Oh, really?
And kind of by that time as well, I kind of stopped enjoying, I guess, the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
I got selected into the summer squad after the 2018 season, which is kind of like the elite, I guess, summer team, where you kind of start getting paid to row a little bit. And which was awesome. I was young and I'm going to grab that opportunity by the scruff of the neck and take it. But I guess for us, I didn't really have a balanced lifestyle. When you're young and it's tunnel vision rowing, that can consume you pretty quickly. And I was living with rowers, going home talking about rowing. Like, it just wasn't escaping it. No study. It's the only thing I was doing. I had no balance, and got to the end of 2019 and I was really burnt out. Was kind of looking at my options elsewhere, and actually after 2019 we didn't make the summer squad, so got told to go back to RPCs, which is like the regional performance centres, and I was kind of like, I've had enough and I want to go explore elsewhere and just have a bit of fun again. So
I'd imagine as well, when you're like 18, 19, as much as you would have been enjoying the success and like really committed to what you were doing, would have been tough maybe like seeing like mates at uni and like going out every weekend and like doing shit that normal 18 and 19-year-olds do. You probably felt like you were giving up a lot, even though you were determined to be doing what you were doing. When was it exactly? End of 2019 when you decided to have a break?
So we kind of had the World Champs in I think September or August, and then stepped away after that. Started my building apprenticeship in Cambridge first, and then kind of had a few mates in Auckland that I'd come quite close with. So I moved up to Auckland and started 2020, and did building and played a bit of rugby. And I guess like you were saying before, missed that kind of side of like getting on the piss with my friends and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to have that in a way, and just feel like I can just be a teenager, just left school, and it was probably the best thing I ever did in terms of just like releasing and just getting away from rowing.
No, it makes sense.
At
that point, what was your kind of like headspace? Were you thinking that you just want to have like a year off and then are likely going to come back? Or at that point where you kind of could see yourself maybe not coming back and just fully just leaving it behind kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess for me, I definitely never shut the door, but I definitely was kind of looking, I don't want to row anymore at the time. And I wanted to give rugby a good nudge as well. So I started playing rugby up in the North Shore and tried to give that a good crack too. But yeah, I guess it was 2020 or 2021 because of COVID, watching some of my friends who I got medals with and under 23s, some of them were winning gold in Tokyo in the 8, and I thought, oh God, like maybe I want to come back because some pretty good success there. And, I feel like I could, be as good as them one day. And I guess that was my drive to kind of come back at the start of 2022. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long? So you would have had like good couple years?
Yeah, it was about 2 years, and yeah, it was kind of really good to reset and be in the real world a little bit.
Yeah,
I guess the hard thing was stepping away from rowing. Is everyone had kind of known me as Ben the rower, and that's kind of how I identified myself a little bit. And I guess stepping into the real world, I feel like I almost like lost my identity in a way, which sounds a bit weird, but really struggled with it. Like I just didn't know like who I was in a way. And I guess that was a product of just being so consumed by rowing and not having a balance. And I guess it caught up to me when I went to the real world. But it was a good shock, I think, that I needed, and kind of helped me with my headspace about how I was going to attack rowing when I came back the second time. So, yeah.
How did your stint playing rugby go? Any notable moments?
No, I guess I played under 21s for East Coast Bays, and then the next year made Prems, which I was pretty stoked about.
Oh yeah, no, that's impressive.
We had an all right season.
What position were you?
Oh, I was lock in 21s, and then for Prems I ended up playing 6. So the first game of the season, some guy, 6, got injured, and he was like, "Oh, you're starting 6," and I thought, "Oh, I haven't played 6 since I was like year 7 or something." Like, playing since I was year 7, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I quite liked being a bit looser and like not being, running it up all the time. So a bit more freedom out there. And actually, right as I finished rowing in 2019, I wrote my name down for this Red Bull Ignite Sevens thing, which is like a tournament that the New Zealand Rugby put together to kind of, I guess, headhunt some kind of 7 stars for like the New Zealand Sevens development team. So I put my name down, and they invited cross-code athletes, so like athletes who are like sprinters or girls who are netball players, and I put my name down rowing. I hadn't actually played rugby since I left school, and I was like, I'll chuck my name in the hat. Ended up making it. So it was like a 3-day tournament up in Auckland, and it was pretty cool to like rub heads with some pretty good rugby players and stuff.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, I don't think my sevens is very good.
Right.
I actually broke my thumb like 5 weeks before we started that. When I was training a little bit in Hamilton, just practicing sevens, and broke my thumb. So I was in a cast and got my cast off on the Monday, and the tournament started Wednesday. So
not ideal.
Nah, my passing was a bit terrible. My fitness was good, but the rest of it was pretty average.
I'm sure you still put in a shift.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah.
No doubt. Cool. So then got back into rowing like around 2022.
Yeah.
What were the first kind of couple seasons like?
I guess my first kind of way back in was just joining a club. So I still live in Auckland. I moved to the North. Well, I was living in the North Shore, so I joined North Shore Rowing Club. Yeah, did like half a season, kind of the second half of the season there, and then got selected into like the New Zealand development team. So I had to come up and do like a bit of a trial here, I think March or something, and then got selected into like the development squad in this building here, and had to relocate back down to Cambridge, which was, I guess, what I wanted to do. And then I picked up studying too. So it was kind of important for me that I had that balance when I came back, and I wasn't consumed by rowing. Tried to live with non-rowers too, which was really important to me. And my first season, I was reserve in the pair with Luca Kerwin. So we went and
sacred boy.
Good sacred boy. Went and supported the elite men's pair as the second kind of the next best guys on the rank. Went to world champs as just a reserve, so we didn't get a race properly.
Do you still do like some of the like lead up tournaments and stuff though?
Nah, so that year we didn't, because we were kind of elite development. So they went to the World Cups and we kind of stayed home because we weren't really selected yet. So that was a bit of a grind. Being here for winter can be pretty rough sometimes when everyone else is in Europe. But I kind of knew it was part of the process. I wasn't going to be chucked in straight away, and kind of had to earn my stripes again. And then 2023, or into 2022, 23, made the summer squad, was into elite development again, which was a bit annoying, but kind of worked my way back into the team and ended up making the pair on the opposite side that I used to row. So I switched to bow side when I came back, which is there's stroke side and bow side and rowing. And if you're a sweeper, and I used to be stroke side, and they're like, oh, we want you on bow side. So I switched to bow side.
So sorry, stroke is like front of the pair and bow is the back. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that is the way, but also stroke side is right side and bow side's left side too.
Oh, right. So you're switching sides as well.
Yeah.
Did that feel like a bit of a curveball at the time?
Yeah, it definitely was. I remember the first, I'd changed, and 3 days later, he was like, oh, you're doing a 2K race, like, out here. And it was so bad. Like, I was catching crabs and, like, almost tipping, and I just thought, oh, this is horrible. But, yeah, slowly figured it out. And, yeah, I guess at the end of that domestic season, got selected as the men's pair to go to the World Cups, and then on bow side with Phil, and then we qualified into that year, qualified the pair for Paris. So we went to the World Champs, and we qualified the boat for New Zealand, which was pretty awesome. And in a way, kind of thought I'd got my ticket to Paris. So I was pretty stoked about that. And then came home, and we had to do kind of, when you qualify a boat, it just means New Zealand's qualified a boat. So it doesn't actually mean you're going. It just means New Zealand's got a spot in the men's pair. Right. So we got back, and they said, oh, we think you'd be better on stroke side with this other guy. So I thought, okay, I'll give that a go. Like, I'm used to stroke side, so I kind of jumped back on stroke side, and it was Olympic year 2024, and I actually thought I did a really good job. Definitely was dealing with some other stuff outside of rowing, like some mental things, and getting sick a lot. Always getting tonsillitis, and was just getting run into the ground, but kind of was hanging on. And then come to Olympic trials, thought I did enough. A lot of people kind of said I did enough. The data said I did enough, but then came in this room actually in here, and was told that I was going to be in the number 2 boat for the World Cups leading into Paris. They hadn't selected the boat yet, but I was pretty upset. I kind of thought I really earned that spot, and didn't feel like they believed in me. But I guess that's sport, and that happens a lot.
I'd imagine that would have been tough though, like putting in all the work, qualifying the boat for the actual Olympics, and feeling like you'd earned it. Would have been a tough one to take.
It definitely was, and definitely made my mental health even a little bit worse, I'd say, at the time, and definitely made me hungry. And we went over to the World Cup regattas in Europe, and us as the number 2 boat beat the number 1 boat at the first regatta.
That would have felt good, I'm sure.
Yeah, it did. It felt really good, and I kind of was like, sweet, like, do I get a seat race again? Like, this is my chance. I've proven that we're fast. And they said, oh, no, we'll try some things. And then they switched their seating order around, and they ended up beating us at the second World Cup. And then they said, that's it, that's the pair. So I was still fortunate enough to be selected as the men's reserve to go to Paris. And still super grateful for the opportunity, like, to go alongside the New Zealand team and be there and support, and was like pretty epic. So get to see some of my mates win medals, and but it was definitely a bit hard sitting on the sidelines watching the pair come down. Where I thought I could be in that, or hopefully make it better, but you never know. I didn't get the opportunity, and they did well, but in hindsight,
I'd imagine it would have been a bit of a weird trip in the sense of, like, obviously sick to go to Paris and, like, go to the Olympics and have that opportunity, but at the same time, like, with all the work you put in, you would have been, like, desperate to be in the boat yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And my parents, after we qualified, everyone got tickets and everything, so it's a bit hard that side as well, because your kind of family is like, oh, you're going to be going, don't worry, and blah blah blah, like, you've got this. And I guess, to find out and had to tell them and, call them probably crying, saying that I didn't make it, and it was pretty hard for them too. But they still came over and they were there and, supported the New Zealand team. So it was really cool to have them there. Definitely put some fire in the belly for the next year.
I'd imagine. So kind of fast forward a little bit. So post Paris, I'd imagine you would have been pretty fired up to be like, I'm going to give the selectors no option but to put, first name on the team sheet for the boat kind of thing. Talk to me about how you kind of approached the following season.
Yeah, so I guess it was exactly what you just said. I kind of wanted to prove that there was no way they couldn't pick me. And you do that the other seasons, but this one I think was a little bit more fire in the belly. And I really wanted to prove to them like there's no reason why you can say that they can put someone else in. So worked really hard and kind of went undefeated in the domestic season in New Zealand, which was a good kind of start, and went into trials as like the top ranked stroke sider. So and then at Nationals teamed up with Ollie Welch in the pair, and we won the pair at Nationals, and he actually wasn't in the summer squad, so he was rowing at a club down in Christchurch, and he at my club as well. So it was kind of cool. We got to row for our club at Nationals, and he just won the 23 World Champs the year before in the pair. So I thought, this guy's obviously pretty good. Let's give this a crack at Nationals, and we won. And then both got selected into the pair at trials, and it was pretty exciting, knowing that this pair could go pretty good this season. And he's pretty young, and he still is young, but I learned a lot from him, and he learns a lot from me. So it's been really cool.
I'm intrigued in terms of the selection process. How does that work? Just so had you and Ollie teamed up before they selected the pair and kind of were like, we want to row together, or were you selected more as individuals that they thought would make how does that kind of work?
So I guess I kind of picked him at Nationals because we were still on the New Zealand summer squad. So I thought, I'm going to grab him. He's probably the best option for me at my club. So I picked him. But when it comes to trials, they kind of have a bit of a vision of where they kind of see boats sitting and what they think could go fast. So they'll kind of we did a pairs matrix where you kind of, I'll race with every single person on the other side. So I'll race with all the bow siders, and Ollie will race with all the stroke siders. And then you'll just get a cumulative time. So say if we won, we'll get 0 seconds. And then if you get second by 3 seconds, then you get +3. So each race, you just get a cumulative time at the end, and who's got the least time at the end of the session pretty much is the best person on that side. And Ollie was the best person on bow, and I was the best person on stroke. So we did at the end of trials, we do a 2K time trial just on the water. And we progged pretty well against the world record time. So they selected us from there.
So it sounds like a bit of a dream pairing in the sense of you guys wanted to kind of pair up anyway, and then we're also individually the fastest times on each side.
And it's interesting because sometimes the fastest rowers don't click in a pair. They kind of say sometimes pairs are made in heaven, or you can't make a pair go fast that isn't fast, and it kind of is a bit of a combination thing. I guess I was just fortunate enough to be rowing the same time as Ollie so far, and we've kind of clicked really well. So it's been a really good journey so far.
So what was your guys' first? So you were selected for was it the World Champs last year was the first major event you guys did together, or did you have some other lead up tournaments?
So we had 2 World Cup regattas last year. First one was in Italy, and that was our first kind of international racing taste, I guess, for us. And we came up against the reigning Olympic champions in the pair, the men's pair, the Singovic brothers. And
where are they from? Sorry,
they're from Croatia. So they won in Paris in the pair, and we had them in the final. We won our heat, won our semi, and then we came up against them in the final, and we actually won.
Huge.
So it was pretty epic. We kind of thought, we're in a good spot here, and
pretty solid spot to be.
Winning gold in your first regatta was pretty epic. And then the next year, a few months later, we had World Cup 2, where we came up against the same kind of competition. But then we had the Romanians there as well, and we knew they were fast. Both won our heat and semi, and then came up together on the final, and they beat us by about 2 seconds.
Right.
So yeah, we're still happy with our race. I'm still pretty stoked to get silver. It's our first season together, and I guess we travelled home, and we didn't really talk about it a lot. We kind of knew what we had to do in a way, just train hard but train smart as well. So I guess we came home and just got into the grind. So
when you say train smart, what do you mean by that? Like,
yeah, I think a lot of people can just think you just got to train the house down every day.
Yeah.
But I guess for the sport we do, which is quite high demand, you can't actually do that to yourself because you just put yourself in a big hole and you just can't deliver every day. So when the session says, do light intensity or high intensity, like do the actual session, but just do it at a high standard.
Right.
Because a lot of people can just think, I'm just going to train really hard every single day, but then they'll just burn out. And then we'll get to Saturday and they just can't even
got nothing in the tank kind of thing.
So we were just really smart, I guess, about how we trained and really just nailing each session as for what it was and not trying to just overexert ourselves, because that we have physiologists who write the program for us, right? Mm-hmm. So they're doing all the science and have all the data. So you've kind of just got to trust them. Mm. And sometimes it's really hard because you think, this is too much or this isn't enough. But I guess that's part of it. And, they've done the science to support us. So we've kind of got to trust them. And it's really important you trust the team around you are doing everything they can to make you the best. Yeah. So, yeah, I think training smart's probably the biggest takeaway from the last 2 years is training smart. It's probably
one of the biggest ingredients for the success you guys have had.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially for me is like eating really well has been big as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then obviously you went to the Shanghai World Champs after those 2 World Cups. What was your kind of headspace going into that like? So you'd obviously won gold at the first and then silver at the second. So I'd imagine, even though maybe aiming to medal is quite a high objective for World Champs, you guys must have thought like we're right in the mix for either gold, silver, bronze kind of thing. Was that the kind of headspace you wanted, like almost medal or nothing, or what was that?
Yeah, I think I went into World Champs thinking if we didn't medal, I'd be pretty disappointed. Yeah, I guess I'd call that a failure just based on the other regattas. But at the same time, you don't really want to look at it like the medal is the most important thing. Like we kind of changed our headspace and as in like we need to race our best race as much as we can. Mm-hmm. So if we can race really well, the result should just take care of itself. And It's not actually about jumping out and trying to beat this person. It's about racing your best race because you've still got to get to the start to the finish as fast as you can. Mm. And if there's other people around you, there's other people around you, but it's actually about going as fast as you can, not faster than someone else.
Almost trying to like win gold on accident kind of thing. Just do the best race you can each time and just see where it lands.
Yeah, I guess so. And we had the fastest heat, and then I think Romania had a fastest semi. We didn't verse them in the heats or the semis, and both won respectively.
Right. Were Croatia still in the mix as well?
No, so Croatia went into the men's 4 after the first World Cup. So yeah, a few people kind of jump around, and those World Cup regattas, you can kind of find your feet or try different boats and try different combinations.
Right.
So they ended up doing the men's 4 instead. But yeah, I guess we had pretty high expectations, but we'd never really talked about it. We're kind of a pretty quiet combination, and we kind of just know what we want to do without having to say it in a way. And we never really talked about, we could win gold or we could do this. It was kind of like, let's go out and execute the best race possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then so obviously onto the final. So you possibly thought it was likely going to be a bit of a battle between you and Romania.
Yeah.
How do you think the kind of race went from your perspective in terms of like what was key to getting it done?
I think for us, we kind of knew they were fast starters, and we really wanted to put the heat on the first K. So we kind of met the night before with our coach, and Ollie and I spoke, and we said, I think we need to put a bit more emphasis on the first K. Right. We're pretty quick starters anyway, like we're pretty fast off the blocks. So we said if we can really, drop the hammer in that second 500, we could, get a really good time to the K. And I guess that's exactly what we did. We kind of came out hot, went out in front and just kept going for as long as possible. And I guess that was our mindset. And we kind of got to the K and we had, I think, a 3 or 4 second lead, and then got to it was at 3 seconds, I think, and then got to the 1500, so 500 meters to go, and we had 5 seconds lead, which is pretty handy to have at a world champ. So we kind of done enough in a way. The wheels did start falling off a little bit in the last 100 meters.
But naturally, I'd imagine. I mean, hard to, when you're that close.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we kind of spent our beans a little bit early on, but it was pretty exciting. It's weird. Those races you don't really remember a lot. Like, it's a bit of a blur.
I can imagine.
But it also seemed like they were really close, even though they kind of weren't in a way. They're like just there, or they're actually way back there, but you think, oh, that's not enough, like in your head. So
how aware, like, how easy is it to kind of keep track of the other boats in the race when you, like, are you just trying to stay 100% locked in, or can you kind of tell where your competitors are?
I guess you've got like your peripherals, so you can kind of see people either side of you. I guess like being in front's the best way, really. And you try not to take too much notice, but if you're turning around, it kind of means you're in trouble, because you're probably not winning. But you can kind of feel where they are a little bit, and you can kind of see it. But I guess the best way is just getting out in front, so you can kind of control the race a little bit and kind of see where everyone is.
Right. So obviously 1 gold at the Shanghai World Champs, which is an exceptional achievement. What are the kind of, I'd imagine, next goals or objectives that you're keen to tackle that kind of keep you motivated?
I guess for me, the main one would be LA 2028. I guess not making Paris puts a bit of fire in the belly, like I said, and I really want to kind of give that a really good nudge. And if I can still be in the pair with Ollie, that'd be great. But I guess that's the main goal. But I guess my short-term goals are, winning world champs again this year is probably important for us, and then qualifying the boat for LA in 2027. So those are the kind of the main goals, I guess, in the next 2-3 years. And I guess what comes from that. But pretty excited. And I guess this year's last year's success has given us a bit of a sniff of where we could be, and we've probably got a good shot at giving LA a good crack. So
definitely. Obviously, with all those big events coming up, I'd imagine the training schedule would be super intense. What does like your kind of like weekly routine look like?
So we kind of train from Monday to Saturday, get Sundays off and a Wednesday afternoon off. And big weeks, we kind of have a recovery week, build week 1, build week 2, build week 3, and they kind of slightly build over the weeks. And I guess build week 3 is you're training between 13 to 14 sessions a week, about 6 sessions on the water, 3 in the gym, a couple on the erg, 1 on the bike. It gets pretty heavy pretty quickly. But I guess we train hard for our goals, and it's very long sessions too. Like we're rowing between, I guess, 18 to 26k every day on the water, and the smaller weeks we're rowing closer to 18, and the bigger weeks are up to 26. And then we have kind of 2 sessions during the week, Wednesdays and Saturday mornings, that kind of bit more higher intensity, kind of in that threshold zone, where we train against other boats that have been selected. So it's kind of a good way to kind of see where you're at and just get that grind going. And we want to train probably harder than we race, so it's a good opportunity for us to really put the hammer down.
Obviously that only leaves so much downtime, but what do you like to do in your free time? What does Ben Taylor do to relax?
I guess a lot of napping is needed, and a lot of eating is needed. So when I'm not napping or not eating, I like to kind of get away on the weekends, especially Saturdays, get out of Cambridge when I can. It can be pretty boring for me down here, and I'm someone who likes to socialise, so I've got some good mates up in Auckland who I try to go see, and just get away from Cambridge when I can. And I guess having that study on the side is also a good thing. So when I can go home, I can kind of switch off. from the rowing. And yeah, I think it's really important that you do switch off. And I guess that's been my main driver the past 2-3 years, is having a balanced lifestyle and seeing your friends and kind of figuring out what works for you outside of rowing is just as important as the training you do inside of rowing.
Yeah, I guess kind of ties into what you were saying before about working hard, but also working smart in terms of the preparation.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of rowers who I guess are that kind of tunnel vision, and fair play to them. If that works for them, that's fine. But I'm definitely someone who needs other things going on. And I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with rowing like some rowers are. And yeah, I guess that's what drove me away from it in the first place. So I just try to avoid getting into that kind of space again. Work hard when I'm here, but when I'm not here, I try not to think about it too much and really switch off when I go home.
Yeah, cool. In terms of other sports, I'd imagine you know, obviously as a full-time professional role, wouldn't really have time to play any other sports, but are you still kind of actively following any other sports you're into?
Yeah, I guess from playing rugby, I'm a pretty big rugby fan, and shout out to the Crusaders. Doing okay this season. I think they can still make, well, they're on the top 6, but they still make finals, I think. And yeah, it'll be an interesting season. It was pretty cool to have Super Round down in Christchurch last weekend. Pretty cool to see the city, you know, popping off again. And you know,
because it was the first game in the new stadium, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had the first game, and luckily they got the win. That would have been a bit rough, but they had all the Super games down there the whole weekend, and apparently it went really well. So yeah, pretty cool for them to finally have a home after the earthquakes as well. And yeah, I'm always a Crusaders fan and have been since I was young, being born in Christchurch, and from Christchurch. So yeah, shout out to the Crusaders. I think the Chiefs maybe or Hurricanes could be all right this year as well, but yeah, I'll go off my heart and say Crusaders will get it done.
Yeah, fair call. What about other sports? I think you mentioned quite into league and a bit of basketball as well.
Yeah, so I follow a little bit more league these days as well, almost probably more than rugby. I think it's a little bit more exciting to watch these days, and I think the marketing team is doing a really good job of promoting league and getting it around the world. So yeah, I guess I'm a Warriors fan from New Zealand, so it's pretty cool to see them going really well. And I think that if they can still keep knocking over some big teams, then they can make that top 4 spot. But I think the Panthers, again, are a pretty good team, and I think they'll be definitely the hot favourites. And yeah, basketball. I don't follow it heaps, but I guess I'm a big LeBron fan, so I guess I'm pretty keen to see him get one last chip before he retires, which I think is probably coming up pretty soon. So yeah, to see him doing the things he does at his age of 41 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's mental way.
Yeah. So it's cool. I think they can knock over the Rockets, hopefully. But yeah, it'd be a pretty tough ask to get through OKC in the second round.
Yeah, definitely a big ask. I mean, maybe if they get Luka back, which is looking a bit up in the air, we'll have to see. But it would be epic to see LeBron go on another deep playoff run for sure.
Yeah, how good would that be? Yeah,
big time. In terms of, obviously, all professional athletes at some point have to call it a day. Have you thought much about what you maybe could see yourself doing post-rowing?
Yeah, so I'm studying at the moment construction management through Massey. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where my vision is post-rowing, and I'd like to get in the construction industry. Did 2 years of my apprenticeship while I wasn't rowing, so there's also that to finish. So I guess when I do finish rowing, which maybe after LA or maybe keep rowing a bit after that, but I'm not sure. But I want to finish my qualification before LA, and then I'll have something to step into once I'm done. So yeah, maybe finish my apprenticeship, then go into construction management. So, you know, quantity surveying or project management. But yeah, I guess my main focus right now is the rowing. But yeah, I definitely want to have something else to do once I leave, because a lot of athletes do get stuck once they stop rowing, and I don't want to be that guy. You know, I want to have something to follow on through with. And yeah, I think it's really important that athletes have a backup plan, because you see all these athletes, rugby players, all sorts, come out and they kind of get a bit lost. So I guess that's my goal, is to have a good spot to fall into once I'm done rowing.
Yeah, Cool. It sounds like you're definitely setting yourself up well with construction and got some other options as well, and also plenty of time to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I guess that's the beauty of it. I have got time. My uni might look slow, like I've only started in 2022, but yeah, just chipping away where I can, and it's good to have something else to focus on. So yeah,
big time. You're a busy guy, Ben, so we'll leave it there, but really appreciate you making time.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.